happy Friday to everyone. Hope you are having or had a good week and are looking forward to a good weekend with lots of hobby game time, possibly for a lot of you. And we are at the final game of the July 1st date here in the replay. And it's the Detroit Tigers taking on the Milwaukee Brewers. Brewers 50-23, Tigers 39-34. And on the mound for each of these teams, we have Walt Terrell for the Tigers and Bill Wegman Brewers. We're at County Stadium, which is a symmetrical ballpark. Singles 1-6, home runs 1-5. This is game 532 overall in the replay. Look at Walt Terrell in the bottom of the first. Right now, we'll concentrate on Bill Wegman. By the way, Milwaukee won this game real world 13-2. Of course, that has no relevance on what's going on now. That's just an FYI kind of thing. Bill Wegman, we'll get the numbers on Wegman as soon as I can get the Strat-O-Matic computer to pop up for me. Seems to want to be a little slow today. Doesn't want to open up for whatever reason. I don't know why. Maybe the Strat-O-Matic computer hasn't had his coffee either. I don't know. But anyway, here we go. Finally got it to open up here. Now I can get to the game on the computer so we can get you these statistics on how the teams are doing and how the well, we already know how the teams are doing, but how the starting pitchers are doing, particularly Bill Wegman. So if we look at Bill Wegman, we'll look at his card here a little bit close up. Bill Wegman. Oh, now Tabby was out of the other room. Now she's coming here to make noise. Hopefully she will stay down on the perch and not over here. I was hoping to be Tabby free this morning. All right, so there's Bill Wegman. Whoa, here we go. Bill Wegman, 12-11 with a 4.24 ERA in real world. On the replay, Bill Wegman is 9-1 with a 2.89 earned run average. So if it wasn't for Jimmy Key, he might be the best pitcher in the replay. But Bill Wegman, 9-1, 2.99 ERA, 114 innings pitched, 106 hits, 29 walks, and 48 strikeouts. And so the Tigers will have their hands full. Good morning, Dan. Well, this is really weird on my phone, though. I don't know what it's looking like in the chat, but it sure is weird on my phone. My phone is doing weird stuff this morning. At least YouTube is anyway. I don't know. But I'll show you what I'm looking at, Dan. I've never had the chat where it's in a black box like this. Has anybody ever experienced that before? I don't know. But that's kind of weird. I've never had that happen on my phone. I don't know if YouTube changed a setting, if there was some kind of update or what the story is. It's kind of ironic because it's black and purple, kind of like the Rockies team colors. So this is really weird. You can see how it's filling out like that. So it's very, very strange. Anyway, Dan, I did get the Strat-O-Matic sets yesterday, and I did record, not put it out yet, but I did record an unboxing. And I was debating about whether or not I should post the unboxing video, because I did kind of do it in a spirit of satire and lampoonish, if that's a word, on some of the YouTube channels that are out there. Didn't mention anybody by name, but just some observations, I guess, for lack of a better term. So I'm still debating whether or not to do it, and this YouTube thing is really getting on my nerves. I don't know what's causing this, because we can't even see it. I mean, it's black, it's grayed out, so I'm not sure what the thing is here, but I don't know if you can see this or not, Dan. I'll try to put it up there, but I put unboxing Strat-O-Matic, first look, wow, and other clickbait words others love to use. And I was going to try to do I did kind of like a satire on other YouTube channels out there, not just in the sports genre, but every genre I've seen out there. So, it wasn't, like I said, I did not mention anyone by name. No way. Would not do that. But just my observations and thoughts. Some people are telling me to put it out there. So it's only 12 minutes. I didn't go through and undo the perforations on the sheets or anything like that. I just it basically just took it out of the box and showed what I got. I didn't, like I said, now I've already the season, one of the seasons I've gotten, I've already unperforated those and put those in the opening day rosters. Took a while because there was a lot of trades going on back and forth. But the other season I still have in the cellophane wrap. I have not opened it up yet. I was kind of disappointed because there was no Strat-O-Matic box. You usually get a box that has a Strat-O-Matic logo stamp on it, but this was a U-line box. Like they just went to a warehouse somewhere and got a box and threw it in there. So if I didn't know what was coming, if it wasn't labeled, if the shipping label didn't have Strat-O-Matic on it, you would never know it was a Strat-O-Matic box. So, oh well, that's just the way it goes. All right, so enough of that. We'll move on. But I'm thinking about putting that, releasing that unboxing video later this morning, maybe around 11:30 or so. Like I said, just a quick 12-minute video. It's nothing fancy. I just had a couple. I was in a mood, so I was in a silly mood, so I decided to, do some stuff. All right, here is Lou Whitaker. He will lead things off. Whitaker on the replay hitting 292, 16 homers, 54 driven in. Oddly enough, 16 homers is exactly what Lou Whitaker hit for the entire season in 604 at bats. In the replay, in just 291 at bats, he's already hit 16 home runs. So he's one of a couple guys where the home runs are really surpassing what they did in real world. We'll also look at Wegman. He is a -1 on his hold. He's a -1, and Surhoff's a 0. Kind of backwards on his thing here. He has no wild pitch rating, but he does have a 4 balk rating. Usually it's the other way around. Like Terrell has a 7 wild pitch and a 0 balk, but Wegman, no wild pitch and a 4 balk. So kind of strange there how that happened. But and I have no idea why this, like I said, Dan, this is I'm sure it's not showing up on your computer like that, but or phone or whatever you're watching on. But get these black bars around the chat is really, really weird. But hey, sometimes YouTube and computer and technology can be weird. All right, before we get going with the game and throw out the first pitch, we have the ceremonial first sip, and that is some good coffee. So, Dan, I think you said you went ahead and took advantage of the sale, the little code they sent you and got something. So hopefully you did. I was on the fence, believe me. It pained me to spend that money, but I figure whatever. Only live once, right? All right, here's Lou Whitaker, second baseman. We get a 6-6 left-handed. That's a fly to center. And we're underway from Milwaukee. Milwaukee threatening to run away with the American League East. It's not even the All-Star break yet, but they're thinking about it. Here is Terrell Evans. Of course, with Toronto winning yesterday over the Yankees, that does keep a little pressure on the Brewers to win to keep pace, or either drop another game in their league, gets dropped down further. Here's Terrell Evans, designated hitter. He's hitting 271, 17 homers, 46 driven in. He hit 257 real world. That's a 210, and that's going to be a ballpark single check, which is a 1-6 for County Stadium. And that's a 6. So right on the number, he gets the base hit. Terrell Evans. No threat to run. So he'll hold where he is. And here comes Kirk Gibson, left fielder. Gibson on the replay hitting 327, 13 homers, 41 driven in. He hit 277 real world. 4-6, and that's a fly ball to right field, 2 down. And hey, if somebody wants to lampoon me for some strange reason, go right ahead. I'll laugh. I mean, I don't take anything personally like that. If you want to do something like that, and you go for it. All right, here's Alan Trammell. He's hitting 401 on the replay, 15 homers, 58 driven in. He hit 343 real world. But I have a feeling I'm kind of on the outside looking in on this whole YouTube sports community thing. Here is a 1-8, and that's a single to center field. There's an anti-clutch, but the runner is not in scoring position, so the single will be good by Trammell. Evans will stop at second base. I almost have a feeling like there's a certain click, and I'm not a part of it, so but that's okay. I don't need to be a part of it. Here's Matt Noakes. Noakes hitting .323, 21 homers, 64 driven in. He hit .289 real world. It is a clutch situation for Noakes, and he will lose some hits, 2.6 and 2.7 and 3.5. That's a 3.8 instead, and it's a split. 1 to 10's a single, which would load the bases. 11 to 20 lines out, and that's a 10. It's going to load the bases. So 2 hits on split chances by the Tigers that are the exact number they need, that the top number in the range, and they find it. And now the bases are loaded for Pat Sheridan. Definitely a clutch situation for Sheridan. Sheridan in the clutch will lose a hit on 3.5 and 3.10. Sheridan hitting .244 on the replay, 4 homers, 20 driven in. He hit .259 real world. Tigers looking to threaten early, 3-4, and they're going to do it. 3-4, 1 to 13's a double, 14 to 20's a single. It's going to be 2 runs either way, and that's a double for Pat Sheridan. 2-run double. Tigers take a 2-0 lead, trying to change the history of getting blown out in the real game. And just like that, it's 2-0. They're still threatening for more. It was a 2 stars on the double, so Evans, or Noakes rather, cannot score. Brings up Dave Bergman, the first baseman. Also a clutch situation for Bergman, where he loses 2 hits, 2.9 and 2.10, and also 3.11. See what he can do. Bergman hitting .262 on the replay, 2 homers, 12 driven in. He had .273 real world. That's a 4-3. I think that's a 3. Yeah, 4-3. And that's a ballpark single check, 1 to 6 for Bergman. And that's a 7. So it's the first time they don't get the right call that they want there. So instead, it will be a liner to second base to end the inning. But the Tigers put 2 on the board against Bill Wegman and the Brewers. We go to the bottom of the first. It is Tigers 2 and the Brew Crew coming to bat. And Walt Terrell on the mound for the Tigers. Get the numbers on Terrell. Walt Terrell. Terrell, 17 and 10 with a 4.05 ERA real world. On the replay, he is 8 and 3 with a 5.07 ERA, 94 innings pitched, 112 hits, 35 walks, and 55 on the strikeouts. And I still can't figure out why my chat thing has the black stuff all around it. I still haven't figured that part out. Yeah, I really probably, well, yeah, I mean, I had a hard time justifying my purchase as well, but man, I hope I don't regret it is the only thing. I don't think I will. I think I'll find some way to enjoy those sets at some point. All right, so Mike Felder to lead off for the Brew Crew. He's hitting .326 on the replay. No homers, 9 driven in. He at .266 real world. Left fielder for the Brewers. 1-4, and that's going to be a straight-out triple. One of the rare guys that has a straight-out triple on his card. Let's bring this up where you can see it here. Straight-out triple, 1-4 on his card for Mike Felder. Felder on the real season had 7 triples and 289 at bats, so you can see why they would give him a straight-out triple. So here come the Brew Crew. Triple from Mike Felder. And good morning, Chuck. Felder, that is his 6th triple in 93 at bats, so he's really been chucking the triples here. Less than 100 bats, he's got 6 triples already. Here's Robin Yount. Of course, the infield's back. It's early. Yount hitting .318 on the replay, 16 homers, 64 driven in. He hit .312 real world. 6-7, and that's a 1-5 single. Anything else he lines to short. And that's a 20, so he's going to line it to short. One away. One down. And that brings up Cecil Cooper. I guess one of the ways I feel like I'm kind of out of the clique is that I don't get on Facebook very often. I certainly don't post on Facebook. And I don't get on camera very often. Most times I'm behind the camera. So I don't know. I just feel like I don't fit in, you know? So, oh, well, that's what it is. I'll just be in my own little world. That's all. I'm happy with that. Here's Cecil Cooper. Cooper hitting 209 on the replay, 8 homers, 27 driven in at 248 real world. We get a 2-9 for Cooper. That's a pop out to first. That'll keep the runner Felder at third base. So Walt Terrell 1 out away from pitching out of the mess. But he still has to get Greg Brock, who's a pretty good hitter. Greg Brock hitting 335 on the replay, 6 homers, 36 driven in at 299 in the real season. And in the clutch, he will gain a hit on 1-2. That's a 311, and that's a ground ball to first. And that's going to be picked up by Bergman, takes it to the bag himself, and the leadoff triple goes for naught. What a job there by Walt Terrell to pitch out of the jam. And we go to the second inning. It's 2-0 Tigers. And all the American League East are pulling for the Tigers to try to bring the Brew Crew back down to earth a little bit. They've been way overperforming. So we start the top of the second with Chet Lemon, center fielder. He's hitting 234 on the replay, 5 homers, 20 driven in. He's at 277 real world. And that's a 4-7 for Wegman. Ground ball shortstop X. That's going to be Dale Swain, 3E25 for Swain. So we bring the shortstop in right here. He's a 3. 3-14 is a G2. E25, he's got to avoid 4, 13, 7, and 18, which he does. So good play for Dale Swain, and that takes care of Lemon. 1 away for the number 9 hitter, Tom Brookins. Brookins hitting 231 on the replay, 4 homers, 22 driven in. Get 241 real world. 6-8, and that's going to be a single 1-19, and that's going to be a base hit. I think another reason why I might be a little bit not in the loop is I'm not into the AI craze, so maybe that's left me behind a little bit too. I'm just too darn old school for my own good. All right, Brookins will try to get the lead. He needs a 6 or a 7. He gets a 7. He's going to go. 15 being held to 13. Wegman's a -1 for a 12. 1-12 for Brookins to steal it. And he does. Tom Brookins. Stolen base. Let's look at Brookins. You don't think of him as much of a base stealer. At least I don't. He's not somebody that comes to mind as a Tiger base stealer. Real world, though, he stole 7 bases, got caught 4 times. This is his 5th stolen base on the replay. He's been caught twice. So stolen base number 5 for Tom Brookins. And a lot of people wouldn't have tried it with those odds, but I'm kind of a riverboat gambler when it comes to stuff like that. Here's Lou Whitaker. Flew to center his first chance. 2-6 for Whitaker. Struck him out. First strikeout for Wegman. 2 down, clutch situation now for Darrell Evans. He singled and scored his first time up. In the clutch, he gains a couple of hits. 1-6 and 1-10 turned to hits for Mr. Evans. However, this time we have a 3-7, and he strikes out to end the inning. So Wegman comes back with 2 strikeouts. Takes care of the Tigers. We go to the bottom of the second. Still 2-0 Detroit. And it'll bring up Glenn Braggs for the Brewers. Glenn Braggs, right fielder. He's hitting 281 on the replay, 7 homers, 39 driven in. He hit 269 real world. 5-7, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. Trammell's a 1. We know he's going to get it, or get to it, I mean. We know he's going to get to it as a 1, so we're checking the E21 at short. 6, 15, and 17. Those are the ones to avoid. And that's a 15. I think that's the one we said he's supposed to avoid. E21, there's a 15 sitting right here, so Alan Trammell will boot it. Seems like Alan Trammell's making more errors than he should. Just my bad luck of rolling the 3D6s, I guess. But Braggs is aboard. He'll look to get the lead. Needs a 5 or a 6 to get the lead. Doesn't get it. He'll hold. For B.J. Surhoff. B.J. Surhoff, the catcher. Surhoff on the replay hitting 316. 6 homers, 25 driven in. He had 289 real world. And we get a 5-7. That's a ground ball shortstop X. Well, guess what? Trammell's going to try again. However, he is responsible for a left-handed hitter. The shortstop is responsible for holding down first base. So Trammell will bump to a 2E21 on this particular play. So see if that makes any difference or not. 2 and an 8 might cost him a double play. I don't know. 2 and an 8, it does. It's going to be a fielder's choice, assuming there's no error. But having to hold the runner costs him the double play. And that is a 14. So E21, 14, 15 was the error, not 14. So they can't get the double play. They do get the fielder's choice. So that's where having to hold on Braggs at first cost them potential double play. Cost Giovanni's Tailor Shop some free advertising too. But that's okay. Here's Ernest Riles. Riles is hitless. He's 0 for 4. He's only been up very briefly. So he's 0 for 4. Does have a run batted in, and he has walked once. On the real season, he hit 261, 4 homers, 38 driven in. Surhoff, no threat to run, not being held. 3-9 for Felder. And that's a single 2 stars, first hit of the season or Ernest Riles, not Felder. First hit of the season for Ernest Riles. Puts runners on the corners. 1 out. Riles will not be held. And here's Jim Gantner, second baseman. Gantner hitting 294 on the replay. 4 homers, 25 driven in. He hit 272 real world. Infield looking for the double play. 6'10", lefty. And that's a walk. That will load the bases. First walk issued by Terrell. And the bases are loaded with 1 out for the dangerous Dale Swain. Best 9 hitter in the league by far. Best number 9 hitter. He's hitting 330 on the replay. 17 homers, 52 driven in. He hit 262 real world. Tiger's still looking for that double play ball. Whoa, that didn't go through. Let's redo that again. Didn't fall down the chute the way it should have. There we go. 2-7. And it's a strikeout, a big one for Walt Terrell. His first. Still not out of the woods yet, though. Bases loaded, 2 outs, clutch situation for Mike Felder, the left fielder. And he tripled his first time up. In the clutch, he will gain a hit on 111 and 2-2. 2-9, and that's a single to center field. That's going to score at least 1 run. We'll check about the second run. We know Surhoff is going to score. Riles, trail runner not being held, makes him a 13. 2 outs makes him a 15. The hit went to center field. Chet Lemon is a -1. So let's see if they want to send him or not. 12, 13, 15, -1's a 14. 1 to 14. They're going to send him. And Gantner and Felder will both move up on the throw if he's safe. But you can't just let him score like that. So without a fight. So again, he's a 12, not being held as a 13, 2 outs is a 15, -1 from Lemon's a 14. 1 to 14, he's safe. And he's in there. So it will be a 2-run single that ties the game from Mike Felder. He comes through for the Brew Crew. Felder takes second on the throw. And going to third on the throw is Gantner. 2 outs, runners at second and third for Robin Yount. Clutch situation for Yount. Terrell trying to get out of the mess. 5-9, and that's a fly to center. He does just that. But the Brew Crew tie it. 2-run single from Mike Felder. At the end of 2, we're tied at 2. Hello, Joel. Didn't see you come in. Oh, I didn't know he was at his July 1st. That's pretty good. Hello, Joe. Didn't see you come in either. I'm been focusing on getting this innings done here. I don't miss the clacking. I like the quietness of this. It suits my ears much better. And it takes up a lot less space. I can get closer to the cards now because the other one's out like this wide, and so I'd have to pan the webcam back a little bit to be able to fit everything, and you can't get as close to the cards as I would like. So where's Kirk Gibson? Gibson. I still haven't figured out why all my chat here is in black. It got the black background. It looks like Strat Black. The Strat Black set is what it looks like. It looks like a birth certificate. That's what the Strat Black set looked like, was a birth certificate. That's why I didn't even consider getting it. Even if it was regular price, I wouldn't have gotten it. I'm certainly not paying all the exorbitant amount of money they wanted for it. People that bought it and kept it in cellophane, hoping it would be a collector's item. I hope it is one day for you. Here's Kirk Gibson. 2-3. Oh, Tabby just showed up again. 2-3. It's a ground ball to first. Taken to the bag by Greg Brock. 1 away. So I will probably show the unboxing around 11 o'clock, maybe 11:30, something like that. I'm gonna do this, Dan. I'm gonna restart the phone and see if that I want to restart not just YouTube, but I'm going to restart the whole phone and see if that fixes it. Trammell 4-5, and that's going to be a fly to right field. Glenn Braggs makes the play, 2 down. And that'll send up Matt Noakes. And if you're curious what kind of phone I have, there you go. It's like a 4 or 5 year old phone. I will use this phone until it can't operate anymore. So it's Galaxy S20. I'm sure they're probably on about an S25 by now, but I'm happy with my S20. It does what I need it to do. So I don't see any reason in upgrading. 6-8 for Noakes, and that's a ground ball to second. Of course, I'm cheap, and everybody knows it. I prefer to say frugal, but if you want to call me cheap, call me cheap. It's a badge I wear with honor. All right, here is the Milwaukee Brewers again trying to take the lead. 2-2 as we go to the bottom of the third. Let's see if I can get, now that the phone is restarted, see if I can get this to not turn into a black background on the chat. That was really, really weird how that did that. Let's see if we can fix it this time. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, it's fixed. All right, there you go, Dan. It's all fixed now. It's back to regular settings now. So why it did that before, I don't have a foggiest clue, but it did it. All right, so here's Cecil Cooper. 6-7. That's a walk. And in my unboxing video, like I said, I do not give out names. I do not say, I am not lampooning a particular person individually. I'm lampooning the whole community as a whole. But you could probably guess who I might be referring to. But, you know, if you can guess by that, then that means there's something to it. All right, here's Greg Brock, first baseman. That is a 4-11. That's a ground ball pitcher X. He's an E12. Computer says his range is a 3. So he's a 3 E12 for a pitcher. Let's see what he can do with that. 3 E12. So we're looking up here for the pitcher in column 3. He's got to have at least looks like at least a 4 to make the play, 4 or higher. That's a 17. That's a possible double play. That's a G1. So chance at a double play here. He is an E12. So he has to avoid 6, 12, 15, and 18 with a 3 as well, but mainly 3, 6, 12, 15, and 18 are the numbers to avoid. And that's an 11. He does it. So it will be a double play. Tigers get a much needed double play. That'll be a 1-6-3 double play turned by Terrell, Trammell, and Evans. It's not a Giovanni's Tailor Shop double play, but it counts for 2 outs just the same. I have a bunch of Action PC seasons, but I have not done anything for what you're referring to, Joe. All right, here's Glenn Bragg's 6-7, and that's a single 1-5. 6-20, he lines out to Trammell. And that is a line out to Trammell to end the inning. So after 3 complete, we're tied at 2. Yeah, clickbait is something else, I'm telling you. You can have, my philosophy is you can have the greatest title in the world. And there are videos on YouTube teaching YouTube creators how to create fancy thumbnails and catchy titles and all this stuff. But to me, you can have all the catchy titles you want, all the fancy thumbnails you want, but if somebody clicks on your video in 10 seconds, if they don't like it, they're going to click it off. So, I mean, yeah, you might have got them to click on it, but you're going to probably make them mad for having clicked on it because they wasted their time. Better to have substance over style. My philosophy. All right, here's Pat Sheridan. That's a 1-7 for Sheridan, and that's a strikeout. And that's a 3rd strikeout. Like I said, I'm just not a big social media person. I have Facebook, and I will watch what other people put on there, but you will rarely, if ever, see me post anything on there. Here's Bergman, 3-4, and that's a ground ball to short, 2 down. Certainly not going to post anything about my replays because they're on YouTube. You can watch it for yourself. You don't need me to tell you about it or write it up. Or I don't go in there promoting my videos saying, hey, come watch this. And you don't see me running banners on my videos begging people to subscribe and like. It gets on my nerves when people do that. If I like your stuff, I'll subscribe to you. If I like your stuff, I'll click the like button. I don't need to be prompted like I'm some 6-year-old kid. 4-2, and I'm getting off on a rant again, aren't I? 4-2, ground ball shortstop X. That is Swain. 3. I got to be careful about that. 3 E25, 3 and a 4. That's going to be a base hit. 3 and a 4 will slip through for a base hit. 2-out single for Lemon. E25, he's got to avoid 4, 13, 17, and 18, which he does. There's no error on the play, but it will be a base hit for Lemon. 2-out single for Lemon. Yep, Jeremiah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly. The other thing that I better not go any further on that. Oh, there's so much AI out there. I'm just so sick of AI right now. It's just, I don't know what to tell you. All right, here's Tom Brookins. 1-8. Ground ball to short to end the inning. Sometimes you look at that stuff and you don't know. You think something's real and you find out it's AI, and it's just very weird. But what you're watching now is not AI. This is real. So no AI was used in this. So we go to the bottom of the fourth. And if people like AI, like I said, hey, go for it. I'm not mad at you. It's just not for me. That's all. That's all I'm saying. 112, and that's a foul out. Back to Noakes, one away. The other thing that gets on my nerves, I probably shouldn't. I'm not going to go there. I was getting ready to go on a secondary rant, and I figured I better not. All right, here's Riles. You didn't come here to hear a rant. You came here to watch baseball. 2-6, it's a fly to right field. You go to ID Jester's channel to hear a rant. He's the best at the ranting. All right, here's Jim Gantner. 3-4. Ground ball to second. That'll do it. 3 up, 3 down. 3 up and 3 down go the Brew Crew. So at the end of 4, we're still tied at 2. All of a sudden, the pitching has taken over. Here's Bill Wegman. You know what I am? I probably shouldn't say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. One of the things watching, and this is all YouTube channels. Now, I'm not talking about sports related or hobby related. I'm talking all YouTube channels. One of my pet peeves, and I know people want to make money on this, but one of my pet peeves are mid-roll ads. I cannot stand mid-roll ads. I'm watching a video, I'm into it, I'm invested in it, and at the best part, all of a sudden, I get a 50-second ad that I can't skip. Bugs the crap out of me. I don't care if you run an ad in the beginning. I run ads in the beginning, but it's a short ad. You can skip it, and you never have to see an ad again. I don't like the mid-roll ads. That just gets on my freaking nerves. And I immediately click off and go watch something else. I won't even, no matter how much I'm interested in your video, I will click off and go somewhere else. I will not deal with mid-roll ads. Very annoying. But that's just me. Hey, Dad. Yeah, I don't know. I guess you got to pay for that. I don't know. I'm too cheap to pay for any ad blocker. So I just wish people would put the ad in the beginning and put one at the end if you want. That's fine. But leave the middle alone. Let me watch your content without having to break flow of what I'm watching. All right, here's Lou Whitaker. Oh, Bray. Okay, I don't know anything about that. Maybe I'll have to check into that. I mean, I don't mind watching the ad to support the channel, but I just don't want to see 3 or 4 in the middle of a 20-minute video to get chopped up into a couple different mid-roll ads. Here's Whitaker 2-8. 2-8 is a walk. Like for these videos, I do not put an ad on these videos when I run it live. I will put it on there after the video is over for people to watch it later. It's just a quick ad in the very beginning that you can skip, and you never see a mid-roll ad after that. So, but for live, I don't do it because I don't know how to do it. I can put on monetization to start this video, this stream, but when I do, it pops up with mid-roll ads and it drives me crazy. Oh, it doesn't subtract your data. I don't worry about tracking the data. That doesn't bother me. I just want to not have to deal with those ads. That's all. All right, here's Whitaker. Well, we're getting off on too much of a rant here, aren't we? 4 or 5 will be the chance for him to get a good lead, and he doesn't get it. So Whitaker will have to hold. Here's Darrell Evans, designated hitter. Darrell Evans singled and struck out. 4-6, and it's a fly ball to right field. Glenn Braggs is there. 1 down. Thank goodness Tabby is being very quiet and sitting on her little perch here next to me, and hopefully she will stay where she is and not make any noise. I think she enjoys the sound of the dice rolling around. Maybe, I don't know. Here's Gibson, 1-3. Fly ball to center, 2 down as Yount hauls it in. Here's Alan Trammell. Trammell 2-4, And that is a ballpark single check, 1-6. And that is a 6. So Trammell gets a base hit. It's only a 1-star, but it does keep the inning going. Makes it a clutch situation now for Matt Noakes. And in the clutch, Noakes against the right-hander will lose a hit on 3-5, 2-6, and 2-7. That's a 6-7. Ground ball second base X. We are looking at Gantner. He's a 2E14. He's not holding anybody on, so he keeps the full 2 number, but that's a 3. That could be problems. See if he can get to this. 2 and a 3 he does. It's a G3 pound, but he's not holding anybody on, so the G3 is good. E14, he's got to avoid 15, 16, and 18. And he does just that, and that ends the inning. So Gantner makes the nice play, keeps the Tigers at 8, and we go to the bottom of the 5th. We're still tied at 2 apiece. Brewers won this game real world 13-2, but at least up till now, through the first 4 innings, Walt Terrell has kept him more in check. I don't think Terrell made it past 4 innings in that real game. Still thinking about doing a walking video where I walk around and corner around cards as I'm walking. I'm thinking about doing that. Seriously thinking about doing that. Just to see how it turns out. I don't know what I would say while I'm doing it, but it really doesn't matter. All right, here's Dale Swain. 2-8 for Swain. It's ground ball to short, 1 away. Well, it's the Brewers are in a good start, but I mean, there's a whole nother half season to go. So the dice rolls could, they've been in their favor quite a bit. That can certainly turn around, catches up with you. The averages, hopefully the averages will average out. Here's 2-6 for Felder. He pops it up to second. When we get to July, the end of July, I don't think the Brewers will have quite the big lead that they have now, but I could be wrong. They could have a bigger lead. Who knows? Whatever way the dice roll, That's why it's random. Here's Robin Yount. That is a 5-7, and that's a ground ball to short. So again, Trammell's a 1. You know he's going to get to it. E21, he's got to avoid 6, 15, and 17. And that is barely got by with a 15. So Trammell makes the play. So we played 5 innings, and it's still 2-2. Nip and tuck here at County Stadium. And now we're going to get, both pitchers have 7 for fatigue, so they got a ways to go before they have to worry about fatigue. Bill Wegman back out. I mean, these two pitchers in the replay are combined 17 and 4, so you would expect a good pitching matchup. Here's Pat Sheridan. He will lead things off. Sheridan, 0 for 2. I'm sorry, 1 for 2. He had a double his first time up. He's 1 for 2. 6-3, and that's a fly ball right field X. We're looking at Glenn Braggs. He's a 3E13 for Glenn Braggs. So we'll get our outfield chart ready to go. He is a 3, so we're in this column. He needs a 7 or higher to make the play. And that's a 3, so that's going to be a double. That'll be a double. And now the E13. Is it E13? Yes, E13. He's got to avoid 6, 4, 12, 15, and 17. And that's a 7, so he barely does. But it will be a double for Pat Sheridan. Leadoff double to start the 6th inning. His second double of the game. Tigers looking to break through. Break this tie. Here's Bergman. He's 0 for 2. Is Bergman. 5-9, and that's a pop-up to short. Dot there, but he's not tired. Swain makes the catch, 1 away. And that'll take us to Chet Lemon. Lemon is 1 for 2. That's a 2, balk or pass ball chance. Looking at a pass ball chance on Surhoff, which is a 5. No pass ball, so he'll hold. Everybody will stay where they are, and we'll have a regular at bat. Lemon, 6-7. Another ground ball, second base X. That'll be Gantner. He is a 2E14. 2 and a 9 should be just fine. Runner will go to third because it's hit to the right side, but a 2 and a 9 is a G2. And an E14, he's got to avoid 15, 16, and 18, which he does very well. 4-3 ground out. Sheridan does take third, but now there are 2 outs. And it's going to be all up to Mr. Brookins. In the clutch for Brookins, he loses some hits here, 2-9 and 2-10. But we'll see what he can do. He's 1 for 2 on the day. 3-7, and he strikes out to end the inning. For Wegman, that is only strikeout number 4. But it keeps the score 2-2 as we go to the bottom of the 6th here at County Stadium. Well, Terrell back out, and he'll be facing the heart of the order, Cooper, Brock, and Braggs. Cecil Cooper. Make sure that we're not losing anything. I might have to back the... No, I need to move this over a little bit. That's what I need to do. Somehow I got pushed over here too far. Now I think we're in better shape. Okay. Now I think we're better to go. Let's see. First of all, I got to put in strikeout for Brookins in the computer. Now we're ready to go to Cooper. And that is a 1-6 for Cooper, and he grounds it to Whitaker. 1 away. 1 down, and that's going to send up Greg Brock. Brock 0 for 2. 3-3. And that's a ground ball to third. Easy play for Brookins. So Brock 0 for 3 now for Glenn Braggs. Braggs is also 0 for 2. Did reach on an error. 3-3. And that's going to be a hit by pitch. So Walt Terrell plunks him. Glenn Braggs gets hit by the pitch. He's going to try to get a lead. He needs a 5 or a 6 to obtain a good lead. Does not get it, so he'll hold for B.J. Surhoff. That's a 210 rather, and that's a straight-out home run. Jeff Gooderman's not here, but it's clean as a baby's butt. 210 against the right-hander for B.J. Surhoff, and that is long and gone. No D20 needed. 210, solid home run, clean as can be. And it's a 2-run home run to give the Brewers a 4-2 lead. So Glenn Braggs, he had been on the injured list for quite a while. Just recently coming back, and he makes an impact by coming back. That is his. Let's get... I'm sorry, not Braggs. That's Surhoff. What am I talking about? Braggs. That's Surhoff I'm talking about. Giving kudos to the wrong guy. Surhoff, his 7th home run of the replay, and that's what he had in the real season was 7 home runs. RBI's 26 and 27. And Surhoff has given the Brew Crew a 4-2 lead with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th for Ernest Riles. Terrell shaking his head, wondering how he let that one get away. 6-8. And that's a single 1-2. Anything else, he lines it to Whitaker. And Whitaker will snap to end the inning, but damage done by Surhoff. And we go to the 7th inning. It's Brewers 4, Tigers 2. And now we're into the fatigue inning for both starting pitchers. Wegman out will face the top of the order. Whitaker, Evans, and Gibson for the Tigers. 6-6, and that's a fly to center. Robin Yount hauls it in. 1 away. And that's Darrell Evans' time. Evans is 1 for 3. And that is a 6-8 against the lefty. It's a ground ball to second. 2 down. And it'll send up Kirk Gibson. Gibson 0 for 3 in this game. And that's a 2-6. 2-6 for Gibson, struck him out. That's the 5th strikeout for Wegman, and he carries full endurance into the 8th inning. He's going for his 10th win. We've hit the 7th inning stretch, and it's Milwaukee 4, Detroit 2. Terrell will come back out there. Yeah, it is kind of weird. He's normal power against lefties is Surhoff. Let me get a close-up of his card. It is kind of strange how they did that. He's got normal power here against lefties. If I can get this thing to do right. Normal power against lefties, weak power against righties, yet he's got a solid home run here, but I guess that takes it away from the pitcher card. So they give him a little bit of power on his own card with this. This is the only result he hits a home run in against right-handers is on his own card is this 310. No other result on the right side of his card produces a home run. No diamond shots, no nothing. And then the weak part over here, I guess, is for when he faces the other pitcher, he doesn't get a home run off either the ballpark, the ballpark blast or an in-home run check on the pitcher. So I guess that's Strat's way of trying to neutralize some of that. I don't understand all the ratings, but let's see, how many home runs did he hit real world anyway? He only hit 7 real world in 395 at bats. So, yeah, he's not going to get – he does have some diamond shots here against lefties, and he's got 1 split home run here. But, yeah, he only hit 7 home runs, but he's already hit 7 in the replay to tie his season total. And, of course, he's still got more at-bats to go. But that's just the way it happens. So we start the bottom of the 7th, and it's Mr. Gantner leading things off. 2-10 for Gantner, and that's a fly to center. Chet Lemon puts it away. 1 down. And that'll send up Dale Swain, shortstop. 3-5 for Swain. That's a 1-2 triple. 3-20 is a double. That'll be a double for Dale Swain. Continues his hot hitting. That'll take us to Felder, and now the Tiger bullpen starting to loosen. Mike Henneman loosening in the Tiger bullpen. Mike Henneman. Felder steps to the plate. 2-2 for Felder. That is a ground ball to first. It would be a clutch hit, but there aren't 2 outs. So it's just a ground ball to first. Bergman takes to the bag himself. It does move Swain to third base. Now there are 2 outs. And Robin Yount, the batter, in a clutch situation for Yount. In the clutch, Yount is completely neutral on his card. No clutch effect whatsoever. We get a 2-2, and that's a fly to left, and that will end the inning. So Terrell makes it through 7 innings. And he keeps endurance as well into the 8th. And we go to the 8th. It'll be Trammell, Noakes, and Sheridan. Tigers running out of outs. They got 6 outs left to try to make up 2 runs. So they have to get on the ball. Wegman's looking tough. They do have Plesac in the bullpen if needed. But right now they're sticking with Wegman. And why not? 4-8, and that's a double 1-2, single 3-20. And that's a single for Alan Trammell. Puts the tying run to the plate in Matt Noakes. Trammell could try to get a lead. He needs a 5. See if he can steal second and stay out of a double play. He does not get it, so here comes Matt Noakes. Noakes 1 for 3. 4-9, and that's trouble for Wegman again. 1-3 is a triple. 4-20 is a double. And we got a double. The double, I believe, is assumed to go to center field. Yes, it is. Trammell, 14 being held as a 13. Plus 2 arm from Yount makes it a 15. But with nobody out, I just don't think you can take any chances here. So they got second and third, nobody out for Pat Sheridan. And now the Brewer bullpen is loosening. And Dan Plesac, their closer, is up and tossing. Pat Sheridan. Infield for the Brewers is back. They need an out. They'll give up a run, but they got to get an out desperately. Here's Sheridan. 6'5", lefty. That's a pop out to first. That's a huge out to get the out with no runner advancement. And that'll bring up Dave Bergman. Infield still back for the Brewers. Whoops. Bergman is 0 for 3. 4-4, and that's a ground ball third base X. We're looking at Riles. He's a 4E28. This is where they could get into trouble when you have a 4 fielder at third base. So 4 fielder, he's got to get at least a 7 to be able to make a play on this. That's a 20. That's a G1. This is a good play for him, but it should still score the run, you would think. So let's see, E28 at third base. E28, he's got to avoid 11, 13, 14, and 15. And he does just that with a 3. I don't think there's any errors on 3s. I'll double check it. 28. No, there's no error on a 3. But it's a G1. So let's look at the G1. Infield normal, runner at third. It says runners advance. So it will be runners advance. So it's a 5-3 ground out. Scoring is Trammell, and going to third is Noakes. RBI ground out for Bergman. Cuts the lead to 4-3, but now there are 2 away. Two down, and Chet Lemon, the batter, in a clutch situation. Lemon is 1 for 3. So you can see if they got him on the bench, they'd rather go to than Lemon. He has had a historically bad replay. He's gotten better lately, but there's some other guy they might want to turn to here. They're going to pinch hit for Lemon. They know it'll hurt their defense, but they need offense right now. And they are going to Larry Herndon. Herndon is a 324 hitter real world in 1987. So Larry Herndon will get the call. Larry Herndon. He will pinch hit here in the 8th inning for Lemon. And then they'll figure out who the new center fielder is going to be. They might move Sheridan over, I got a feeling, and put Herndon in right field, most likely. So, clutch situation for Herndon. And let's see, he's actually completely neutral in the clutch, is Herndon. So we'll bring him in on the computer, get his replay numbers, as he will hit for Chet Lemon. Herndon on the replay, hitting .327, 6 homers, 18 driven in. He at .324 real world. Oh, you got the green one. Cool. Glad you enjoy it. Kind of wish I got the green one now because it's kind of hard for me to use blue dice now because I got the blue tower. But hey, what are we going to do? Actually, it's so cheap I could probably buy a second one if I really wanted to. But I think one's enough. Here's Herndon. That's a 110. And that's a pop out to second to end the inning. And that's going to do it for Wegman. They're going to bring in Plesac to pitch the 9th. So Wegman's going to go 8 innings. And they'll bring in Plesac to wrap it up in the 9th, or at least that's their thought process. Herndon will stay in the game to play right field. And Sheridan will move to center field. So Herndon will be in right field. All right, so we go to the bottom of the 8th. Tigers, Terrell, do they keep him going, or they're going to bring in Mike Henneman, bring in a fresh arm. So they're going to bring in Mike Henneman. And Henneman actually pitched 4 innings in this game real world, but we're only going to ask him to possibly pitch 1. He's got a fatigue of 3, so he can certainly pitch as long as he would like as far as fatigue goes. And let's get the numbers on both starting pitchers. I'll go to the computer for that to make it easier and hopefully quicker. But the computer is going to make me move Sheridan to center field before we get going. And then it's going to have me put somebody in right, so we'll put Herndon there. Now let's go to the computer box score. and get the numbers on both starters who did reasonably well. Wegman, 8 innings, scattered 10 hits, gave up 3 runs. They were earned. 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Terrell, 7 innings, gives up 5 hits, 4 runs, 2 earned, 2 walks and a strikeout. And now Mike Henneman coming on. And we'll get the numbers on Henneman out of their bullpen. There he is, Henneman. So Henneman, real world, Mike Henneman, he was 11-3, 2.98 ERA, and 7 saves in the real season. On the replay, he has been struggling, to say the least. 3-4, only 3 saves, but an ERA of 5.84. 25 innings pitched, 41 hits, 4 walks, 16 strikeouts. So they would like to have him right himself here. Maybe Sparky's putting him in there just to get right. Try to give him an inning. But can't afford to give up any more runs either. Here's Cooper, Brock, and Braggs. That's a 3-10 for Cooper, and that's a 1-3 single on a split. 4-20, he lines it to the shortstop. And that is lined to Trammell. 1 away. 1 down for Greg Brock. Let's see, I might need to back this up just a hair. Just a hair to make sure everything fits. And we get Brock coming to the plate after Cooper lines to Trammell. Brock, 0 for 3 for Brock. Whoa, that one dive flipped over the edge. It did not go through the chute. So let's try it again. 5-4. 5-4 is a strikeout for Henneman. 2 away. And that's going to bring up Glenn Braggs. He was hit by a pitch his last time, which preceded the Surhoff home run. Henneman would like to get Braggs now and not have to deal with Surhoff. 5-7. And it's a ground ball second base X. Lou Whitaker. He's a 2 E20. 2 and a 4. I still think he gets to that. 2 and a 4 he does. E20, second base. He's got to avoid 3, 13, 17, and 18. And that is just fine for Whitaker. He makes the play. So Henneman, 3 up, 3 down in the 8th. We go to the 9th. Last chance for the Tigers. And they'll have to do it against the closer for the Brewers. None other than Dan Plesac. So we'll get the numbers on Plesac as we go to the computer for that. Bring him in and get the numbers for Mr. Plesac. Don't know if Milwaukee, looks like Milwaukee is going to keep everybody they've got. Let's see here. Plesac, there he is, Plesac. They're also going to make one defensive move, I think, or no, they're not actually. They're going to keep who they got. All right. So let's look at Dan Plesac, real world, and then we get his replay numbers. Real world, Dan Plesac, 5-6 with a 2.61 ERA, and he recorded 23 saves, real world. In the replay, he is 5-3 with a 3.82 ERA and 16 saves. 31 innings pitched, 21 hits, 11 walks, 36 strikeouts. So 11 walks in the 31 innings is a little alarming. Due up for the Tigers, you do have Tom Brookins, but he will be called back, and Bill Madlock will pinch hit for Tom Brookins. So they will bring in Madlock to do the pinch hitting for Brookins. He will pinch hit, and we'll get the numbers on Madlock. But you got to have some offense here. So they're going to hope Bill Madlock can start something. So Bill Madlock on the replay is hitting 253, 2 homers, 7 driven in. He at 279 real world. So Plesac is a -2 on his hold. Okay, keep track of that just in case. Here's Madlock. That's a 5-12 right-handed. That's a ballpark blast right off the bat. 1-5, and we got a tie ball game. That's an 11, so it's a deep fly to left. That was Tiger Stadium. It might have been gone, but it wasn't. We're in Milwaukee, so now you've got lefty Lou Whitaker, but you're not going to pinch hit for Whitaker. So Whitaker will stand in against Plesac. That's a 2-7 lefty. Struck him out. So we're down to Terrell Evans. Not going to pinch hit for Evans either. He can hold his own against lefties for sure. And I just don't know. They have Mike Heath on the bench, but that's about it from the right-hand side. So they're going to stick with Evans. That is a 3-9 for Evans, and he struck him out. So Plesac, an impressive ninth inning to get the save. And for Plesac on the replay, that is save number 17. And the Brewers just continue to bury the Tigers in the standings. Henneman goes 1 inning, doesn't give up anything with a strikeout himself. 5-4 victory for the Brew Crew, or 4-3 rather, for the Brew Crew. And we'll get the totals as we head to the computer and get you set up for what's coming up on the channel for the rest of the weekend. So as we put in these numbers here on the computer and get the box score. So the box score, Wegman the winner. He is now 10-1. Plesac is 17th save. Walt Terrell takes the tough luck loss. He's 8-4. 3 runs, 10 hits, and an error for the Tigers. 4 runs, only 5 hits, and no errors for the Brew Crew, but they made their hits count. That 2-run homer was the difference from B.J. Surhoff. So don't know if you want to give Surhoff the player of the game or somebody else. You can make your own decisions there, I guess. But the Brewers with the victory. Hello, DJ from the left coast. And I don't know if we can show it very well. I'll try. Just for you, Chuck, since the Tigers lost, you might want a little bit of a pick-me-up. We got a visitor right there, sitting close by, right here, watching the festivities and not very happy about it either. She is definitely not happy about it. Right, Tabby? 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 There you go. Yeah, she's not too happy about it, but oh well. Can't have everything. That's for sure. So as we look ahead to the rest of the weekend, we have, again, like I said, I am going to go ahead and I recorded it already. I am going to go ahead and put out the unboxing, even though it was very satirical and a little snarky. I've been encouraged to put it out anyway. Like I said, I didn't use anybody's names. I didn't call out any channels or anything like that. But if you can take what I'm saying and relate it to a channel, then that's what are you going to do? But I'm going to put that out probably about 11:30. I'll put that out. And then tonight we'll have the Rockies Horror Baseball Show, where we will have Game 7 of the Rockies replay. It's their home opener against the Athletics, so we'll be at Coors Field and see if that will give them the boost they need to Dad, that's part of the video I'm going to put up there in about an hour. So, yes, that did arrive, and I did unbox it. So, I've already recorded the video. I just haven't put it up. So, I will put that up. So, the Rockies, game number 7. That is correct, Chuck. I did not reference anyone. So, but I think I proved my point. If I mention something and you can visualize in your head who I'm talking about, then there must be something to it, is all I'm saying. But, I mean, I'm not downgrading them at all. It's very satirical and very much, lampoonish, to say the least. So it's not meant to be mean-spirited or anything like that. Just my observation, that's all. So after the Rockies game tonight, then on Saturday, we will have the NBC game of the week in Fall Classic Baseball. It's the Los Angeles Dodgers visiting the Atlanta Braves in Hotlanta. That will be at roughly noon tomorrow. And then tomorrow night, we will have, actually tomorrow afternoon, I think it will be, we will have the final round of the, it'll be tomorrow afternoon, maybe around like, I don't know, maybe around 6 o'clock or so, maybe something like that, 5, something like that. We'll have the final round of the Valspar Championship from Florida in History Maker Golf. That'll be the final round, the back 9 on that. And then tomorrow night, late around 9-ish or so, we'll have game 8 of the Rockies replay. Then on Sunday, around, I don't know, whenever I'll put it up, we're going to have Sunday Basic Sunday from the 1962 season. I will use the new charts that were in the Barnes & Noble game. I will use those for this Basic Sunday basic game between the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Chicago Cubs. And that will be, on Sunday. Then, of course, when we get back to Monday, we'll start the July 2nd date in the replay, and I'll figure out what games we're going to show. The games that were not done this week on the channel will be played offline. And those teams that were offline for the July 1st games will get top priority to be shown on July 2nd. So that's going to do it from here. Hope you all have a great day. If you want maybe a little snarky laugh coming your way, wait about an hour, and I'll put up the unboxing video, and then you can determine if I was too mean-spirited or not, or whether it was all in good fun, which I think it was in good fun. Depends on how you take it. But anyway, that's it from here. Tabby's looks like she's lost interest and about ready to go for a nap. So we won't disturb Tabby anymore with any more of this noise. So that's going to do it from here. Hope you all have a great rest of your day, whatever you have planned. And until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it. And we'll see you all down the road.